Welcome back, sports world. This is a special edition of Factual Opinions Podcast. We're doing a live stream because we want to engage the people today and get some feedback, some interaction, and we want to talk about the biggest fight probably of the last decade. I'm going to say that because the Manny Pacquiao Floyd Mayweather fight happened about 5 years too late. It was very anticlimactic, to say the least. I don't think we'll have that problem with this fight that we're alluding to and speaking of, but it's your host, I am Pharaoh, checking in with the Brown, Bruce Wayne, Big John,
Yes, sir.
Will West, the best, Nate.
You know it.
And again, we're not in the studio tonight. We are home, man. We trying to something a little different. Again, like I said,
Moving
to
different
engage
today.
everybody. Yeah,
Mhm.
man, you got to switch it up every now and then, man. Make use of this technology, this
Right.
era that we're in right now. So, we're going to talk about a few things before we get into the breakdown and the preview of the undisputed welterweight title fight between Errol Spence Jr., the IBF, WBC, and WBA champ, looking for that fourth strap so he can be undisputed, taking on the undefeated Terence Bud Crawford, who holds that WBO belt.
Right.
We called this episode, Big John. We called it Fish Fry.
Right.
Now we
I'm sure. I know why. I know why. I ain't
we
in the boxing world like y'all, but I definitely know why.
well, just in case people don't know,
Hmm.
as Will West, the best, joins us back in. The reason we call it this Fish Fry is because
It's not a fish fry. We smoking bud.
Errol
Yeah.
Spence Jr. has been wearing this T-shirt for a couple years now, where he calls himself the big fish, and he's a shark, and he's running around, and he's got the three belts in the welterweight division. He's looking for that fourth, and he's knocking on the door with the bloody harpoon, and it says TC on it. The initials for Terence Crawford, like he's coming for that last belt. But I want to say,
Yes.
be careful what you ask for because you might end up hooked on the other end of that line. I'm just saying, uh, you know. So Bud said it's gonna be a fish fry, so that's why I called this fish fry.
And
Right.
his and Errol Spencer's Jamaican. He said they smoke bud.
That's what he said. He's
So
supposed
that's
for.
what's going on.
So, and we got a couple viewers coming in. I'm going
Killer
to
Cam.
try to keep track of the questions as well and comments. I see that Cam said, "Go Spence."
That man smart. I'm telling you that now.
See,
He's smart.
there's Coach Cam,
Okay
GCL
then.
Cam, as I call it. You know.
Right. Kill.
um, but no, look. Regardless of who you're rooting for, man, or who you think is going to win, this is going to be a razor thin fight that could go either way. If you're being honest about it. Um, Nate's cousin, Lil Gooch, we still have
Hey,
an
but he gotta
active.
change his name, bro.
I can't change that man last
Hey,
name.
bro, he gotta change his name, bro.
Shout
Me
out
and
to
Lil Goose
brother
still
Bob.
have an active bet going. I don't want to put the terms out there, but he doubled down when this fight was announced that he was still
He,
ready to do it.
he
Is,
did.
is he is he coming to the party, Nate?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah, we'll be there
Oh,
first.
we party at a house.
We I'm sorry.
Nah, don't
I
be
gotta,
saying
I'll tell you off record. We ain't gonna do all that.
Okay,
The
okay.
reason
No,
the
the
reason why
party
I'm
is at
asking
Nate's
because you
house.
said you may not be here during the fight week, so I was asking.
No, I'll be here. It's just I'm
Okay,
probably gonna be doing it somewhere else. So
I
I'll
feel
let
you.
y'all know on that.
All
Okay.
right.
But folks who are tuning in, again, we appreciate it all. Feel free to comment, ask questions. This is another reason why we're doing this live feed today because we want more interaction and be able to talk with the people that are tuning in. Also, if you stay tuned in, we may have a special guest, a former Olympic silver medalist in the 2000 Sydney Olympics in Australia, representing Team USA, who a Cincinnati native that may be tuning in. So we don't have the definite, but if you hang in long enough, you may get to interact with a Cincinnati native who represented his country and took home the silver medal in the Olympic Games may be tuning in. So before we get into the Errol Spence and Bud Crawford breakdown, we wanted to talk about a few more things that did happen. There's not a whole lot, at least from the sports that we talk about on here. Do want to talk about my man Joe Dean, aka Joe Mixon, took a pay cut to remain part of the Cincinnati Bengals organization. Now, y'all know like I'm the world's biggest Joe Mixon fan, so I don't mean this to be funny, but I've seen a lot of posts and a lot of hearts on that stuff. Like, oh, Joe, he took less to stay part of the team. I just want y'all to know that really wasn't an option.
Yeah.
That was one of them. You got called upstairs, and either you gonna take this or you getting your walking papers. So, uh,
What's that be with Lisa Simpson on the computer where they tapped her on her shoulder, like, hey man, let me talk to you for a minute. Clock out for me right quick. They hit it with the Lisa Simpson. Hey, clock out for me right quick.
right.
Back office for me real quick.
Right.
Yeah, that was. Hey, we stuck by you, but you've been cutting up lately. Production was a little bit down last year. You see what's going on with the other running backs around the league right now. There's some marquee guys that still don't have jobs right now. So, Jodine,
Rushers. Talking about sitting out the whole year.
take this pay cut. We got Tone in the house. He said Nate needs some headphones like y'all.
I ain't got none, Tom. I ain't got none today.
Tone, man, now that you back in town, I need you to slide through the studio, man. Again, you welcome anytime on the show, just so you know. We'll check in with Killer Cam. Cam said, yeah, it was take it or leave it. He further hurt by the running back market too. Yeah, the running back market is
That made it
trash
worse.
right
Made it
now.
worse.
The guys that I'm alluding to, the Kareem Hunts, the Zeke Elliott's, the Dalvin Cooks, um, it's kind of ridiculous, man. They need
It
jobs
is.
right now.
I can't believe Dalvin Cook is not with the team right now.
Dalvin Cook gonna get a job before probably for all the guys you name, he's gonna be somewhere. They probably just finalizing his
If
paperwork.
he
Dalvin
ends
Cook gonna
up
be
on
somewhere.
Miami, watch out.
Yep.
That's a track. That's a track meet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Everywhere.
Yes.
that whole
That's
team.
track practice right there. But it's like you got to think the last person. I think today I seen the last person that was a running back that got signed long term was Nick Chubb. He was the last one.
Nick Chubb, man, he might be the best back in the game right now.
Not Nick Chubb. I mean, even if you don't think he's the best, he's top 3. It ain't even really close. Ain't nobody, and you can't name 5 people better than him.
You know what pisses me off, and I know me and Cam talk about this off the record a lot. There's a business model and a reason behind this more than it is, on field performance why the running back market is being done like this. And the more people buy into it and co-sign on social media, it makes it easier from a PR standpoint for these organizations to continue playing running backs the way that they're doing. So stop co-signing, stop acting like, oh, you don't need a running back to be successful. Look, the Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes setup is a one-off in Kansas City. Don't think that every team can get by doing that with just a plug and field running back.
That's true.
And every year they won, they had a running game. So don't get that twisted. The first Super Bowl they run, they had running back by committee. The second one, they had number 10, who was balling majority of the year. So don't get it twisted. Every year they won, they've had a running game. They've never not won without one. Yeah, Patrick Mahomes gets the numbers and the glitz and the glamour, but every year they won, they've had a running game. And the year they went and lost, they didn't have one.
Yep, that was the year.
And I'm gonna tell Bengals fans something too that they may not want to hear. As much as I love Joey B, and he is that dude, or I'm him, as Joe Burrow said. Let me tell you something. The only thing that's separating the Bengals from the rest of the pack, I'm talking about them in Kansas City being on a tier by themselves. The only thing that's separating the Bengals from the Bills and the other teams that are scratching the claw to get up there is Joe Mixon.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just letting y'all
I
know
agree.
that because he's what puts them over the top. You know, everybody else has wide receivers and stuff too, quarterbacks that can throw the football. Joe
Yeah.
Mixon is what makes the Bengals offense elite.
And what you know, I mean, everybody knows you need a quarterback to win in the NFL. That's the most important position on the field. But the running back takes the pressure off the quarterback. If I can just slide and give the ball to somebody that can make something happen, it makes my life easier.
Absolutely. So I wanted to talk about that, and excuse me, give some credit to Cincinnati Reds have been playing some ball lately.
Yeah.
Now, look, you know,
Hey
because
man,
Bruce,
when you said that, that made me think about that part on life. He was like, "Look at the Yankees; they got to get ass." Let me think about that.
is a
Oh,
MF Yankees kicking.
right.
um, well, because Brewski had asked a while back, like last year, I think he said, "Why don't you talk about a lot of baseball on the podcast?" And you know how well and long I played baseball. It's not that I don't have any love for the game, but things was kind of bleak around here in Cincinnati. I didn't have much to talk about besides the Hunter Green show.
Right.
We got a couple rookies now, the McLean and Ellie Dela Cruz
Is he
fast
eligible for
become.
Rookie of the Year?
Yeah, he would be eligible. He's fast become the most exciting man in baseball. And what I like about Ellie Dela Cruz is it's not just at the plate. You watch this guy in the field,
Yeah,
man.
he having
I see.
fun, man.
I seen him backhand one on the third base
Oh
line.
yeah, you seen him gun him?
The one I
The gun
posted,
down? Yeah, the
yeah.
gun down was
I
tough.
was like,
Yeah, that's tough. And he just out
And
having
he
fun.
and the crazy thing about it is, man, he's a shortstop by trade, so he really out of position and still doing what he's doing.
yeah.
That's the crazy part,
And then he stole home.
Yeah.
right,
When
bro?
was the
I ain't
last time
seen.
you seen? So can I ask you since you was like 5 or 6 years old, the last person I knew that stole home was Ken Griffey Jr.
Bro.
Well, for another team, but I saw the stat for the last time a Cincinnati Red stole second, third, and home. That was way back in 1919.
Jesus, Pete.
It was the last time a Cincinnati Red stole second, third, and home.
Was slavery still going on?
Nah.
No, but
That's when Calvin Hill Sr. was born. So that should tell you something.
Oh yeah,
wow.
Yeah.
yeah.
No, slavery was abolished, I believe, in 1865. So it wasn't terribly long after that. So that was quite a while since somebody did that for the
Yeah.
Reds.
We was
But
probably still out there cutting the grass though.
yeah, sharecropping
They were still
in
sharecropping,
places.
picking some places were still picking cotton.
Some
Things were
people
still
may
going
not
on.
have. Some people may not have stopped working. But let me
Right.
stop, man. We should be making fun
Yeah,
of them.
I'm just saying that's
But
a long time, bro.
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
no, they're playing some exciting ball. And what's crazy is I remember not all that long ago, you can still just walk up and get a Reds ticket on any given night. And there's some nights where you can still pick your seat or whatever, but it's kind of full of Great American right now with them playing ball. But I guess that's a good thing. At first, I was like, "Oh, here we go with these Cincinnati bandwagon fans again." But there again, the difference is the Reds for a while weren't trying to field a competitive team.
No.
So I understand people not wanting to go down there and do that. And they are exciting right now. So
Yeah.
and we deserve that.
Yeah.
You
You know,
know,
ever
they
since it was looking my bad, it was looking kind of bleak ever since Dusty got up out of here. It wasn't looking too hot.
oh
It
Dusty.
it amazes me. Dusty left. As soon as he left, he got his ring. That just amazed me.
It was
It
only a
don't
matter of
amaze
time,
me
man.
because he came so close so many other times
Yeah,
and he's won everywhere he's went and Dusty has went places where historically they weren't supposed to win or haven't won, until the Cubs won that one in 2016. I believe it was 1908
yeah.
was the last time they had won a World Series.
They had the curse.
And they had that year with
1908.
Dusty where that fan, uh,
Stole the ball
yeah,
from Moises Alou.
yeah, it was 1908. Big John was the last time the Cubs had won one until 2016. So that was
They
a
was up
very
three
long
two in
time.
that series. They was up 3-2. They was up 4-2 in the game, and that
And
foul
blew
ball
it.
been the third out because they had like 2 on base. That last out would have took them. That'll put them. They've been batting up again. By him
You
taking that ball, it just everything started
yeah,
happening
it went
downhill curve.
downhill after that.
Yeah,
But you even look at Dusty's time in San Francisco.
yeah.
They got to the World Series. They hadn't done anything since the Say Hey Kid Willie Mays was there in the
Yes, sir.
'50s and
Yes, sir.
'60s. Shout out to him. You know, he is set in this house where I'm at right now.
Who, Willie Mays?
Hmm
Really?
I had to tell y'all the story out the record about that. That's another Sweet Williams story, by the way. My
Man,
grandfather.
Hey man, that's my
Jesus,
grandfather's favorite player, man. So I definitely got to hear that.
Yeah,
that's
him,
crazy. You
Frank
got some history
Robinson.
in that house.
Frank Robinson's been in here. So, um, but yeah, man. To wrap up the baseball talk, I'm happy that the Reds are pulling their weight. You know, their neighbors downtown, the Bengals and crosstown neighbors, FC Cincinnati, are pulling their weight. So I guess they figured they
Yeah,
had to also.
yeah. It was about that time. They was
Yeah.
overdue.
So let's get into it. For people that want to check this out later or at any point in time, like I said, this is streaming live right now on the Factual Opinions Facebook page, our YouTube page, and actually my personal Twitter page, the at I am Pharaoh 86, streaming right now. So we'll post the links and stuff for anybody that wants to watch it after the fact too. But let's get into it. We have the welterweight, undisputed welterweight title fight coming up next Saturday. You know what, man? This is our generation's Sugar Ray Leonard and Tommy Hearns. This is
Yeah, for sure.
exactly what this
Definitely,
is. This is the two
definitely.
best fighters in their prime, putting it on the line. What more could you ask for? Now,
My-
what I want to ask Nate, because I'll go to Nate first. I got my theories. Nate said this is not why, but why is it that black folk in particular just seem to be overwhelmingly in favor of Errol Spence? It's like they need that next Mayweather, so it's got to be Errol Spence. And I've seen that from the start of his career. It's like
That ain't
Errol
true.
Spence, Errol Spence, Errol Spence. Why?
That ain't
Why?
true. That's
Hold
not
on,
true.
before
That
before
it
Go
is
ahead.
before
to
they
me.
go
Go ahead.
before they go
I'll
in,
wait till
like
Big John done.
I have no dog in this race, but I've heard it's been mixed. It's been a mixed
Yeah.
bag. Like I don't know what all black people you've been talking to, but it's
Yeah.
been a mixed bag. I've been hearing Bud Spence. And like I said, I don't have a dog in this race. I
Well,
just
I
been
could
hearing
break it down further, but you know we try to stay PG-13 on here
I'm I'm gonna
because
say I'm gonna say
there's a
this. I'm gonna go
particular
ahead and say
segment of
this.
black folk. But go ahead, Nate.
I know
I'm
what you're talking about. Oh, it was one of them that did this. I got
I'm gonna go
I
ahead and
got
say this, bro. It's not one sided. It's not everybody's picking Spence because I run into more people picking Bud than Spence. Another thing is if you look at the gamble table, favors ain't in the arrow. They got Bud as the favorite. A lot of it.
But
Terence Crawford is the favorite. So it ain't just it's just certain people that know like that's you got the Aerosmith fans, you got them, and then you got people that know boxing. A lot of people think I even had somebody say they thought Errol Spence was gonna knock him out. I said I don't see that. I could see a long, drawn out war. That's what I see. That's the only thing I could think of is a war, especially with these two because they both gritty. They got their own specific styles. Like I was watching Access and Errol Spence's trainer was saying that he's very athletic. He moves. He's shifty. He's unorthodox. He can go both hands. It doesn't matter. He has power in both hands. It's just the things you have to learn. You got to learn that you got to learn what you're doing in this boxing. You got to study your opponent.
you gotta know what
So
you're
it's the big thing.
navigating them value. Uh,
doing.
native speaking of Errol Spence's trainer Derek James, who won, I believe, was it 2022's trainer of the
Trainer
year
of the year. Yep.
in Boxing Association. He's actually training
Anthony Joshua.
former heavyweight champ Anthony Joshua currently too is in the United States and being trained by him now. Looking to do anything he can to switch it up and revive his once promising career. I know I'm higher on Anthony Joshua than these two individuals are on this panel. You know,
I want to
I
go
want to.
in, but I'm gonna chill
Well,
out.
I
I'm
don't
gonna
want to
chill.
get too far away from the
Yeah,
arrow
yeah. We ain't gonna get away from Earl.
and Bud that this episode is supposed to be about. But I am
Yeah,
going to throw an Anthony Joshua plug in here real quick, and then we'll segue back. I still, in my heart of hearts, believe that from a talent and ability standpoint, Anthony Joshua should be the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. He's
you know what my
not right
problem is?
now. He's not right now. Wait.
Go
Let me.
ahead.
'Cause we probably on the same wavelength. He's not right now because Andy Ruiz put them hands on him, and he's been, dare I say, timid ever since.
It's
He
been
ain't let
hard.
go like the. Cause see, the old Anthony Joshua let them hands
Oh
go.
yeah. He did it against Klitschko.
Yeah, when he knocked out Klitschko and Dylan White and was, fast on his way to taking over the division, that Anthony Joshua I ain't seen since, and I don't think he's coming back. We got Coach Cam says AJ is done. Al,
I agree.
um,
I agree.
what else he say? He said mentally fried. Well, can't really argue with that.
Nah, my
But
issue is a lot of people have realized that they can walk Anthony Joshua down. They can walk him down. They can get him in deep water. And like Ruiz did, he knocked him down. He realized that chin ain't what it really is. But we seen that in the Klitschko fight. He got caught with a short right and was down, and he got right back up. But it was just like, oh, his chin kind of nervous right
you
now.
still got to get to his chin because there have been a couple heavyweight
That's
champs,
another problem, though. That's another
but
problem he had.
Klitschko himself, if you could get to his chin, it wasn't the strongest chin in the world.
No,
Um, Iron Mike could take a good punch, but as you got him into deep water, it would become troublesome for. Look, my homie in the house, Stephen McAdams said Joshua, my boy though.
y'all can love him all y'all want. He ain't what he is, bro. He ain't pound for pound in the heavyweight division.
You know Stephen as the old Madisonville
I
boy.
know. I knew who it was when I
Yeah.
talked to. Yeah, I know who it was.
No, I'm saying the ability is there. Mentally, yes, I agree with Cam. He's fried at this point. He's going into the ring thinking about getting hit instead of letting his hands go, and that's going to prevent Anthony Joshua from becoming the fighter that he should be. I think he's got a rematch against Dylan White coming up.
He
But
does.
anyway, roping it back in because we were talking about Derek
Yeah.
James.
Let's stop talking about the dreams and nightmares. Let's stop it.
Yeah, we were talking about Derek James, the trainer of Errol Spence Jr. down there in Texas, and winning the Boxing Writers Trainer of the Year award. Now he got into it with Bud. If you watched
Mm-hmm.
Showtime's All Access,
When they walked in.
yeah, but Bud said, "What's up?" He, he's like, "What you mean? What's up?" He said, "I said, what's up?"
Right.
It was getting pretty tense there for a second. You know me,
Well, in our community, that can mean a lot of things.
it really
I
could.
think I think it was how it was said. That's really what it was.
That's the difference
That
on
was
what
up.
it can mean.
That
If
was up. The
somebody,
tone of voice, the affliction of your voice, that could
Like,
mean a
what's
lot
the
of
up,
different
Dr.
body
things
H?
in our
Like,
language,
hey,
community.
what's up,
the
bro?
posture,
Right.
what's up?
Yeah,
It
it
could
was
be
You
a
know,
what's up.
strong
What
posture.
I was gonna say, it could be. It wasn't like chill, but it could be like chill.
right?
It
That's what it was.
was
So the
different.
tension started.
Yeah, the
Right.
intensity was there with both of them when they both said it. Because Bud was like, "What's up?"
Right.
And he turned around. He's like, "What you mean? What's up?" Like, "Oh,
Right.
Was
this
that Bud's dad that said we're gonna put some hot sauce on that fish? And Spence
yeah,
said, "Man, they said you ain't like
he
hot
don't even
sauce."
eat hot sauce."
I was like, man, so they have you can tell they have respect for one
Yeah,
another.
it's a major respect with him.
Yeah, it's a difference. It's because I was going back watching some old fights over the weekend, trying to get myself in the mood and ready for this fight, man. And you watch some of these fights,
I've
there
been
was some
ready for 2 weeks.
serious disrespect in some of these fights. Mayorga versus De La Hoya, Tommy Hearns versus Marvin Hagler. But Tommy Hearns looked at everybody like he wanted to kill him. Like
Yeah,
he had the best
he had
the
like a
best stare
fierce
down
look.
ever, bruh.
Yeah,
Ever. Iron Mike's was good
yeah.
too. But Tommy
Mike
Hearns,
used to watch
man.
people sway in front of him.
Yeah, Mike's eyes will go side to side, follow us. So
Hey man,
somebody.
Mike was Looney Tunes, bro. That's
Yeah.
a different ball game,
But
bro.
but Tommy locked onto you and his eyes didn't move.
Yeah, his ass ain't go nowhere.
The
Yeah,
the hitman was looking at your soul.
yeah.
Right,
He was trying to see where you was going with this.
right.
But that's what I expect in this fight, man. I watched when I was at the gym the other day. I watched the first Sugar Ray versus Tommy Hearns again, man, and just looking at two dudes at the height of their ability and the best in the world doing that. And that's what we're getting Saturday. So I want to ask y'all. We've talked about this
Next Saturday.
before.
Next Saturday.
Next Saturday, we talked about this before. I've asked everybody. I think Kenyon Martin has said who he expects to win. Of course, he picked Spence. So I will probably post a little bit of this video and do a teaser clip, let Kmart see it, let him affirm that. But
Kmart, you got to let us know. Tell him what it is,
We
man.
we
Tell him
need
what it
you on.
is,
We
Kmart.
need
we
you.
need Kmart on the show. He said
We need you
he
on the
was still
show. He
willing
said he would.
to come
He
on the
said he would
show.
come on regardless. We need him on the show.
Yeah. So Kmart, come on, brother. Need you on the show. Corey Dillon said he would come on the show too. I'm just saying. So yeah, I said it. I threw it out there. So we still waiting on that too. Nate, who are you picking to win this fight? And not just who are you picking. I need how. Is it a decision? Is there a stoppage? Let me know. Who are you picking and how?
I'm going with Errol Spence, the big fish. It'll be a decision. I think you're gonna break him down. It's gonna be a breakdown of points collectively. There's gonna be some damaging shots. All that.
He said he gonna
I
break
almost cussed. My bad.
Bud down.
You got me
Okay.
worked up. You already got me worked up. I'm about to cuss just everything.
What's up? Oh, it's me.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
You the one in the middle. Everybody else knows.
I mean,
everybody know where I'm going. Everybody know where
I
I'm
mean,
going.
he didn't say. I was just listening, bro. But I think I said Bud before. I think I'm gonna still go with Bud. For all the reasons that Nate pointed out. The only thing that's scary is I did go back and watch some of the fights that Al sent me.
Thank you.
Errol is
You
just
know
he's
John known for not watching videos.
bruh.
Yeah.
I didn't watch one video of a quarterback that went to Ohio State. That's one video I didn't watch. Every other video I watched. But anyway, the scary thing about Spence, man, is like you said, they both have their own style. He's very smooth and fluid, so it may be a little tight. I think it's going to be a decision. If Bud is going to win, he may have to knock him out. But I don't know, man. I'm going to still go with Bud.
So, y'all know me. I'm a boxing historian, and I've seen a lot of fights over the years. I've missed the last two that I went out on a limb and said.
Yeah.
When I said that Joshua was going to beat Usyk and get his belts back, and I said that Ryan Garcia was going to beat Tank, which obviously didn't happen. Now, I ain't picking against Tank again. I'm just gonna say that.
I'm glad you learned your lesson.
I was listening to the great Teddy Atlas, Hall of Fame trainer and ESPN boxing analyst, talk and give his opinion. I don't know why Nate is shaking his head. Like Teddy Atlas or not, he's still a legend in the game, period, point blank. And he's seen, heard, facilitated, coached a lot of boxing. He had a good point, man. He said he's picking Bud, and he said Bud by decision, but he wouldn't be surprised if there was a stoppage. sort of like the Sean Porter fight,
Mm-hmm.
where it took him deep, and then all of a sudden it got real hard on these streets,
But the
real
thing
hard on the
is,
boulevard.
that's the thing about this though. They both know how to handle deep water. These are two. They know. In my reality, this is 1 and 2 pound for pound. So the only reason I give Errol Pound Heat number one due to the fact that he has the belts. That's the only thing. The difference
Tommy
is,
Hearns knew how to handle deep water too. Look at that, boy.
man, I'm
They
tripping.
over there swatting at gnats and stuff.
Man, man,
uh,
they bad this year too. It's terrible.
man, it's the sweltering weather out here.
Mm-hmm.
Tommy Hearns knew how to swim in deep water too, until he came up against another great white named Sugar Ray Leonard. You know, this is different, and I'm saying for both fighters, you know, what you've done previously kind of does not matter in a
It
fight
don't.
like this.
Nah, not at all. Not in this type of fight.
It's gonna be a point where both of them had to suck it up and go to another level mentally. And I don't think either fighter is weak mentally. I really,
No.
don't. But Teddy Atlas spoke of, not that Errol Spence doesn't have it, but Teddy Atlas spoke to the meanness of Terence Crawford, particularly when he gets you hurt.
Oh yeah,
The
and that was something that was addressed. That's
that
something that's
that that
always been addressed.
grit, the way that
Errol
he,
Smith keeps bringing that up. When he gets you hurt, he own you. He just said it
yeah,
before.
yeah. Bud don't play when he smells blood
Mm-hmm.
in the water. And again, Spence is a good finisher. I'm not saying that he's not, but I think in general, Spence is a nicer dude than than Bud is.
I
White.
disagree.
I, no,
I disagree because did you see what he did to that boy eye socket in Britain? That
Kell
was a
Brook is.
terrifying, and he wasn't done, but they stopped
Mm.
the fight.
Bud was on $1 million worth of game with Gilly and Wallow. Shout out to Gilly and Wallow and Philly. Um, and Bud asked a question that I've been asking too. They said, who did he fight? Because everybody wants to
What?
talk about. Let me finish. Everybody wants to talk about
I
Bud
couldn't.
at 147 because we know that the Bud unified the division at 140.
Mm-hmm.
First fighter, and I don't know how long no, I think ever
Ever. He
to,
was the
to
first.
have all four belts at 140 before he moved up to 147. And they've been asking, well, who did Bud fight at 147? Because even our friend of the show, DeMar Johnson, the great DeMar Johnson, UC legend and NBA pro, former pro, said, well, I think Sean Porter was done at that point. I don't know about that.
I do.
I
I agree. I
I
agree.
know that Bud was the first person to stop Sean Porter. I know that, regardless of where y'all say he was at, and I don't believe he was done. But even if you want to go that route, Spence beat. He fought Danny Garcia, right?
Yep.
Keith Thurman was the first person to beat Danny Garcia. I
Mm-hmm.
want to throw that out there because everybody acts like one time is done too. So shout out to Keith Thurman. Only
Shout
losses
out to
to the
Keith
legend.
Thurman, but it's about time he got to get back in that ring now.
You
He gonna
know,
be
only
irrelevant
losses
for a
to the
long while.
legendary Manny Pacquiao. I want to point that out there. So whatever, because I didn't even agree with Bud saying that Keith Thurman was irrelevant. I'm like, no, y'all may
Yeah.
want him to be irrelevant, but he's
No, no,
not.
no. He's still relevant, but he's gonna fall into that category of being irrelevant because he hasn't been in the ring in what? It's almost 3 years now. Two,
No, it
two
ain't
years.
been
Has
three
it been
years.
2 years?
No, it was last year. He got back in the ring, but
At
nobody
the
wants to
beginning of
fight
last,
him
right?
either. That's another thing that's getting overlooked. People say that and say, "Well, he ain't done this." Ain't a whole bunch of people that are still lining up to say they want to fight Keith Thurman. They talk crap about him, but they're not lining
I
up to
think
fight
Boots
him.
should fight him
Why is that?
because they're in the same division and they both want to solidify themselves and they want they want the next title shot. Even though Boots is the number one for both belts that Bud's got and for the one that that Spence got. But
I don't want to get too far off track. What I'm trying to say is that uh, there has been questions about even Spence's level of opposition. You know, he fought Sean Porter. That was a rough, tough fight. Then
mhm.
he got into the car accident. Then he had the retina, issue. That's something else that Teddy Atlas brought up. Like eventually, physically, Errol's body might start taking a toll and come into play. It's great that he looked good in those, couple fights afterwards, but eventually you're not going to be able to shake that off. I don't know if this is the fight where that gets, exposed or not, but
I don't think that has nothing to do with it because he wouldn't have fought.
nothing to do with it.
He wouldn't have fought Ugas if that was the case. Ugas was tough. Ugas was He was a tough guy. He had a belt.
Hmm.
We can't ignore that. These
Hmm.
guys, I think a lot of people, even analysts, ignore the fact that like everybody talks about Ugas and like, well, he really just won that belt off of somebody else. At the same time, you got to respect the fact that they're a champion. You have to respect the fact that they took it to the next level to get to where they was at.
You
And
can't sleep on nobody.
both of these fights have done that. Both of these fighters have done it.
Okay. I mean, so
You got a
to
point, bro.
to a certain extent, if a guy has a belt, but at the end of the day, there have been guys like Charles Martin that had a belt. Or I hate to do this because I know he was a better fighter than he showed sometimes, but Buster Douglas had a belt. You know what I mean? Like there are guys, Carlos Baldomir, had a belt at welterweight, at a certain,
He didn't have
time.
it long, but he had a belt.
Arturo Gotti, had a belt at one point in time. So, I mean, you can become a champion, but continuing to be a champ and being an elite fighter, that's two
That's
different
where the difference kicks in.
things.
That's where it kicks in.
When they call
You,
that, what they call it back in the day, a paper champion.
yeah, that's the difference. The thing is, this is
Like,
the first time we're running into two guys that are like they've been champ for damn near almost 2 years. Both of them.
like on Rocky when they said Union Cage was a paper.
Yeah.
But no, in all seriousness, yes, you do have to respect the guy that's a champ. But level of opposition, somebody talked about that too. But they were arguing in Spence's, favor. But like I said, when Bud was on $1 million worth of game, he kept pressing Gilly and Wallow like, "Yo, man, who have they fought? Who has he fought?" And they like, "Hey, man, I'm not the one that made up
But the
the."
thing is that everybody keeps talking about who has he fought. You can say the same thing about Bud. Bud been on the top rank for the last 2 years? Is that right?
Hmm.
He went down a ramp where he was fighting people we didn't know about. Benavidez' brother was not that good. Let's talk about that. I hate that fight because they bring that up on a regular basis because his brother's doing well. Benavidez' brother was not to his brother. He was
Hmm.
not to that level. The Gamboa that wasn't 147. That was 140. So that was
Well,
way
his
cool.
140 record is solidified. We don't even have to
Yeah,
talk
for
about
sure. I know, but
that.
they try to put that in there. Like I'm like, well, that was at 140. That's not at 147. The thing about 147 is it was a ton of guys that wanted Bud, and Bud didn't take those fights. May have been promotion wise, may have been our promotion. They the ones that protected their golden boy, and they did what they do, which is respectable. But I'm not. We're not going to bring up
Yeah, I
that
want to talk
conversation and say
about.
who's
Yeah, I want
fighting
to
who.
talk about one time Thurman being inactive. He been calling out Spence for the last 3 years, and the reason why
Spence
Spence
pissed
hasn't.
off about that because he tried to fight him
But
before.
okay, but see, I was getting ready to get into that. The reason why Spence won't give Thurman a title shot is because he felt like when Keith Thurman had the belts, he played him and wouldn't give him a title shot. And I'm like, if you're supposed to be the best, and both of y'all are the best now, but at the time when Thurman had the belts, Spence was still on a come up. He was not, an A-list fighter.
He
He
won the
hadn't,
IBF, bro. He won
huh?
the IBF when he was trying to fight him.
No, I'm talking about before he won the IBF title. He was already calling Keith Thurman out. Was he not?
And he didn't. And Keith Thurman didn't fight him.
He hadn't proven himself yet. He was not
Okay, so
a
when he got the
draw.
belt, what was the excuse after that? After he got the
Because,
IBF belt?
but see, Thurman, he fought Showtime Porter in his prime. He
Okay,
fought
so the arrow.
an undefeated belt holding Danny Garcia at 147. Because a lot of fighters aren't the same after they first lost.
So so now you throwing these loops in there now.
Because I'm saying that Keith Thurman to me had proven himself and fought elite fighters before his injuries,
I never
sidelined him.
said that, Al. But you're throwing loops in there when it comes to Errol. Errol
I'm
been won't
saying Errol
move.
wasn't that guy yet when he was calling Keith Thurman out.
He called him out as soon as he got the IBF. When he won the IBF, he called him out. He was going after everybody that had
But
a
just
belt.
because he won a title from that
He was
overrated Kell
20 and
Brooks
0. When he
in
won that belt, he
London,
was 20 and 0.
and then
Al.
he turns around, I want to fight Keith Thurman.
He was 20 and 0. He got a belt.
Nobody
He
knew who he was
solidified
at the
himself.
time.
He just beat Kell Brook. Kell Brook
He
had the
couldn't even
IBF
sell out
for damn near
AT&T
a year.
Stadium in his home state of Texas at the time. You had Jerry Jones showing him the red carpet down there at Jerry's World, and he couldn't even sell out the building. At the end of the day, like he wasn't that dude yet when he was calling Keith Thurman out. So to back it up, you could make a claim against either one of them's level of opposition. That's why this fight was important, right? Because
He been wanting this fight for a year, bro. He
whoever
had
wins
to
it,
change everything. It wasn't. It
no, it's
wasn't
longer
Bud.
than that. We've been talking about this fight
Yeah. We've been talking at least
as
2 or
long as
3
we've
years.
been back on the
Yeah,
air
it's been
for
two. It's
about
almost
2 years
it's
now.
almost about 2 years. But
Right.
it all came out because it was Bud. It wasn't Errol. Bud had to change his stipulation.
And Kareem better be tuned in at some point. Kareem was mad at us because we wouldn't talk about this fight every damn episode.
Yeah,
And I said,
it wasn't
I'm
no
like,
point.
no, because see, you was doing it, Nate, and I was like, no, I'm done until they book this fight. Remember, Big John? I was like, I
Yeah, I
am
remember.
not
Well, I remember.
talking about this until they book this fight. But I think undoubtedly, whoever wins this fight should be pound for pound
Yeah,
best fighter
there's no question about
in the
that.
sport,
Whoever wins this fight should be pound.
regardless of division. Like whoever wins this fight is the best fighter in the world.
We got. Yeah, I agree with that. There's no argument about that. It's only one
Yeah.
person that might give a state for claim, and that's Canelo Alvarez. But he took a loss a little while ago. Bill DeBall
Isn't that still his first loss since Mayweather?
Yep, it was his first loss since Mayweather.
Who you talking about? I ain't hear you.
Canelo Alvarez.
Canelo Alvarez.
Canelo,
Yep.
yeah.
You know what always scares me about Canelo though, man, is like once you get popped for PEDs, man, there's always that asterisk
Mm-hmm.
next to your name, man.
Yep.
So like it's hard for me to get excited about it because I never know if it's really Canelo or is it the PEDs
Right.
doing it.
Yeah. So and then there's something else we can talk about too as well. We got him going against Charlo.
Now, is that fight still on? Because
It is still. Yep.
my homie Antonio Strader, I saw him post a comment. I didn't look to validate it. He was saying something about Charlo was trying to back out and say he needed more time.
Nope. Charlo thought he had hurt his hand, but I guess he got an X-ray or whatever and got reviewed, and he was good. So they haven't said anything about this fight being canceled.
I need that one too. I need Charlo versus.
This is starting to
Canelo
be the year of ain't no more.
Because you will talk about some leather being traded, boy.
Yeah.
I don't know who necessarily is gonna win that fight. I probably still slightly get an edge to Canelo, but boy, that ain't gonna be no easy fight.
Yeah, that ain't gonna be no easy fight at all. My thing is the inactivity is gonna affect Charlo. It's been almost a year and a half,
man. He's too young for that to be an issue.
We've seen it before. Inactivity can affect somebody getting back in the ring, and you're going back to fight somebody top tier. That's like we ain't talking about second or third tier. We're talking about the top tier.
Charlo got that dog in him, though.
He do. Don't get me wrong. And just imagine what would have happened to that trainer if Charlo won that fight. That's the number one thing.
Charlo is one of them that it's like you almost have to kill him to
Yeah,
beat him.
sure. We didn't see him almost get knocked out on his feet before.
And Canelo is Canelo. So I think you got to give a shout out to Tank and Ryan Garcia for inking this fight, because that in turn has made these other elite fighters want to fight each other now.
Yeah, that was the domino effect.
Yeah.
I'm glad, because it was starting to be like wrestling. It was getting on my nerves. Like that's probably why I stopped paying attention to it, because ain't nobody fighting each other.
Well, you stopped because your boy Lennox Lewis stopped.
Yeah,
that's
well,
really when
I
you
stopped.
stop.
I stopped when the heavyweight stopped being important, but that's pretty much
Why?
it.
Can I ask this question? Why, when it comes to bigger guys, heavyweights the most important? Y'all don't like the little guys fighting or anybody else fighting?
It's always been that way since the 1800s, man. Like heavyweight champ of the world, there's just no prize greater in sports, man. To say you the biggest, baddest on the
Hey
planet,
man,
man.
you want to see two pits fight, or you want to see two chihuahuas fight?
It ain't always two chihuahuas
I'm
fighting.
playing, but I'm joking. It's joking.
But like y'all know me, like I love the welterweight division, because that's the last little guy division. Because after that you
Right.
move up to junior, middleweight,
Yeah.
Um, it's not that, because y'all know me. It probably ain't gonna happen, but if I ever had a son, y'all know, middleweight champ of the world, period,
Right.
point blank. That's actually my favorite division, but that is hit or miss too.
Yeah.
That ain't really been hot since Bernard Hopkins was there. This Charlo versus
Canelo.
Canelo has the opportunity to be like a Tommy Hearns versus Hagler type thing. So it's not that I don't show love, but it's like anything under welterweight. There's a good fight in 140 every now and then, like Devin Haney and Lomachenko, some of those guys. Once you get under 140, man, ain't nobody trying to watch two chihuahuas out there
Yeah.
swinging
True.
at each other,
I
It's a
man.
just
big,
said
it's a
that.
big, it's a big Chihuahua fight this weekend. Fulton's fighting that little Japanese guy this weekend. But it's
Could
just like
care less.
not gonna get the attention.
Hey, bro.
They ain't
Nobody
getting
care,
the
bro.
man.
Hey, bro.
I
Ain't
mean,
nobody attention for that.
Hey,
just
man.
to be honest, but
And they
and the
got him
big
ranked. They got him ranked number one pound for pound right now.
the bigger
That's
fighters make
top
the
rank.
more money.
Top rank
That's
has him ranked pound for pound.
that's right now, and you got to be careful with ESPN's rankings too, because there's all type of political crap,
Yeah.
wrapped up in those
Oh
rankings.
my
That's
God.
right now. Like I said, whoever wins this fight next Saturday is undoubtedly going to be on top of the pound for pound rankings.
Mm-mm.
I
It's
just
the
think
biggest fight in the sport. Now what about
this is my all time. I've been waiting. There's certain days I just wake up. Oh, the fight coming on. It ain't even coming on. I'm like that excited about it because I just can't wait to see it.
So I got
now?
a sidebar question for Al that y'all can get back what y'all talk about. Since
Yeah.
we didn't go get to see the movie together, man, but seeing that video of him on Facebook being 75 years old hitting that heavy bag,
Oh man.
who had a stronger punch between George and Mike?
I'm gonna go with Big George. I ain't even gonna hold you, just because of the weight, the height and the weight. I think his shot would have been devastating.
I just want to hear. I just want to ask. I just want to hear it. I just need to
Iron
know.
Mike though, man.
Yeah,
Oh,
man.
Mike was different, man.
But he was punctual for the chin, though. Very punctual for the chin.
Mike's was more boxing,
Yeah.
boxer puncher, and that's what I hate is people who don't know the sport will sometimes consider Mike to be a slugger, or they'll say dumb stuff like Mike wasn't that smart. And I'm like, what the hell are you talking
Yeah.
about? Mike
Yeah.
Tyson
Yeah,
is
I
one of
tune
the
people. I tune people
one of
out
the
when they say
smartest fighters
started something.
ever. Customato used to have him down in that basement with them old
His
projectors
head movement
running
was
and
crazy.
stuff. He would wake him up in the middle of the night and yell out a number, and Mike had to get up and do, a combination and remember these, punches and put them together. Mike, it was a boxing and still is connoisseur. Like if you want to hear somebody who really knows what they talking about and ask them who they think is gonna win, ask Mike Tyson. But to answer your question, Big John, I think I think Big George. I'm gonna go with Big George because like he used to destroy heavy bags.
Yeah.
His trainers and people in his camp didn't even like holding the damn heavy bag when he
He
was
hitting it.
working out.
That's scary.
They didn't like putting on the big fat man suit because they could feel George's punches through that. Like George was a different country, as my godfather would say, pause, cock strong MFer,
Bro,
like
that's crazy.
cause, and I said pause, but
That's crazy.
well, cause he's one of them,
Yeah, but
Yeah, I mean, I get
I,
what
homegrown
you're
I understand
saying.
what you're saying.
It's like, bro,
Texas,
like,
like you don't get that from a weight room even. You
yeah,
just, you either born with it or you're not.
yeah,
It's sort of like Deontay Wilder, that country right hand
Yeah.
right,
his that he brings all the way from Tuscaloosa to your chin.
right, right.
And
So
then
I go with Big
I,
George.
I was thinking Big George too. Is just, man, you think about Mike, bro.
Mike was
Just
punctual. He was very
yeah,
punctual, and he mastered the uppercut.
all right.
The uppercut was the
Man, Mike
most
mastered the
dangerous punch.
uppercut, the left hook,
The most
the
dangerous
left
punch I've seen.
elbow.
I thought he was going to decapitate people with his uppercut. It was
All
that
right.
devastating. It's like, oh my God.
Well, you know what separates Mike and Big George, honestly, and there's really no other way to put it, and they would admit to it. At a certain point in their careers, Big George and Mike walked in the room and they literally, the ring, they literally were trying to kill people.
Mm-hmm.
Period. Mike will
Yeah.
admit it. Big George admitted it, especially when he was looking for his respect. Like that's the
And when he fought
difference.
Ali, he broke 6 ribs of Ali.
That the meanness of those fighters was the difference. Now we got another heavyweight, the lineal heavyweight champ, the lineal and WBC heavyweight champion of the world. Here it comes. I'm about to do it. There's only one Tyson Fury. What the hell is the deal with him fighting this MMA fight?
Because ain't nobody else trying to fight him.
Yeah, that
I,
he
I
bored.
guess he figured Usyk wasn't no
Being honest.
draw. Anthony Joshua don't want to fight him,
Usyk was supposed to be the fight. But I guess
but
the
that's not
money
gonna draw no money.
the money
Him
wasn't
and
there.
Usyk.
He can fight your boy again.
You know what? At least that would sell tickets, but I don't want to see it.
I don't want to see it
I
either.
don't either.
I don't want to see it because I'm a Deontay Wilder fan. That's
Yeah.
that's why I'm saying it.
And he wants to fight him again.
I know he does, but that's where somebody in the
Don't
champs
do it.
camp need to say, "Hey man,
Hey, bro.
We might just need to leave this rope alone, bro.
Let's jump him. My
You
bad.
see
I
that
quit.
road that
I
leads to a
quit.
dark alley? I don't think we need to take no shortcut and go to that route, bro. I think we might need to go around, bro.
the problem. You know what the real problem is? Because you know how Deontay is. If somebody in his camp were to say that or bring that up, he would just fire him.
Right.
You saw what he did to his last two trainers, who threw in the towel, in that second fight when he was in danger of being permanently
Yeah.
hurt, and he turned on them and got upset. So, but if you're a real friend,
I'm gonna protect my friend.
and you love the Bronze Bomber, what Apollo say on Rocky 2? What he asked Duke, he said, "You think I want to fight? You got the decision." He's
Right.
like, "See, I won, but I didn't beat him."
Right.
He said, "Let it go.
Let it go. Leave it
I know what you're feeling." He said, "I saw that man get hit and got back up and kept coming. Let it go."
Yeah,
Somebody
bro.
need to have that conversation with the Bronze Bomber. Like everybody
Yeah.
else that you hit stays hit. You knocked this man down 4 times, and he got up and
It was
proceeded to put
it,
that leather on.
yeah.
Hey, bro, he got up like the Undertaker. Yeah.
I was like, what the
When you hit a bell
world?
ring and the Undertaker just rise up.
Well, and that's one of the reasons why I'm a big fan of Tyson Fury, man. At the end of the day, if you can beat obesity and depression, which honestly, are two things that I know me and Big John have had to overcome in our lives.
For sure.
What's the Deontay Wilder right hand?
Yeah, there ain't nothing.
That's a
And
Tuesday.
drugs.
And he had a drug
Tyson
problem.
Fury was on heavy cocaine and heroin and all that
And
garbage.
alcohol. He was
So
on everything.
he stared down a lot of stuff worse than that right hand, man.
Yeah. Them drugs ain't taking him out. That right hand ain't nothing.
Yeah, that's nothing. That's
Yeah,
a glove tap.
but he got rocked, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Even
thought
in that third
I
fight,
ain't
I,
even gonna
I
hold
thought Deontay Wilder had him,
you. Yeah,
man.
I did too.
In that fourth round where he stuck him and knocked him down twice,
Yeah.
I said,
Definitely
ain't
thought he
that
had it.
about nothing. I said, Deontay gonna get his belt back. Nope.
Nope.
Nah.
Sight.
Nope. So they talk about him and Andy Ruiz fighting each other.
The money ain't there.
Well, the money ain't there for the general public. Al Heyman don't mind seeing it because both of them are his fighters, so
Yeah.
he get paid no
Yeah.
matter what.
He getting a check. He
Yeah,
good.
so that's why he wants that fight to happen. Because what is
He know the
alleged
pay-per-views will be looking good too though.
what allegedly is supposed to happen is if Andy Ruiz and Deontay Wilder fight each other and Deontay Wilder were to win. Excuse me. There's supposed to be a mega fight in December. Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder.
Mm-hmm.
As much as I love AJ, I don't think AJ really wants that smoke. I think he's bringing Wilder's name up to stay relevant,
Yeah.
to stay in the news, because he don't want that fight.
Had they fought some years ago, like everybody wanted, it'd be different.
Yeah, they kind of missed their window too.
Yeah.
But yeah, he don't want that fight. So
Yeah.
y'all know who I'm picking.
I ain't even gonna hold you. That's gonna be a knockout in about the second or third round.
He gonna beat him up because he from the same place.
Yeah.
But y'all know who I'm picking. I'm picking Bud. You know, getting back to our original episode for a number of reasons. I don't know where Nate is having the fight party at. Just make sure Lil Gooch is there and he got his money
Yeah, we already talked about it. Yeah, we talked
that he pledged. You know, because he said, well, I don't want to put the money out there. He said for whatever.
Yeah, I know.
Whatever he put out
He
to
was
whatever I want to put up. I could put up $1 and take the rest of this, but now I'm not gonna do that to him. But you know, I put up something. But Lil Goose he's so cocky. I'm gonna hold him to that.
Yeah,
That dollar amount that he said, whatever he want to put up.
Too. That brown drink was talking real tough too. So
well, but he said it.
Yeah, it ain't got nothing to do with that.
He said it. He said that dollar amount versus whatever I want to put up. Yeah, because you told me he had a new job and everything.
Oh, he got it.
Yeah, that's what I said.
No kids.
He got it.
Not that I would feel guilty anyway, but you know.
Hey, he put his money up. Let me hold it up.
My man Brian Chamberlain in the house. He said it's gonna be a fun fight. Brian used to live in Texas back in the day, down there in Errol Spence territory. We got the champ. Let me add him.
Yo.
We got the champ in the house. I had to add him to the stream.
What's going
on? See, I promised everybody. I said we had a special guest coming. I didn't give it away. So I got to give you your intro, man. So we got the Cincinnati native, the Olympic silver medalist in the 2000 Sydney Games, Mr. Ricardo Williams in the house. What's up, champ?
Man, it's a pleasure, man. Thanks for having me, man.
Absolutely.
Thanks for being here, brother.
Appreciate you.
So we've been in here debating, going back and forth. You know what's coming up, man.
I already know, man. And it's crazy. I'm sitting here with my son, man. It's going to be the next champ right here, man.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm sitting here with my son right now. And I'm going to say it right now. I'm going with Bud.
Oh, man. What you doing, man?
Right now, I'm going with Bud. And then my son right here, he was going with Bud too, but every day he been changing up on me a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more. But you know, that just lets you know how good of a fight this is, and you know how much talent that these guys possess. Like This is a throwback classic. It's gonna be a treat for all boxing fans. It's gonna be a real boxing classic. You know what I mean? It's gonna be like a chess match. It's gonna be
Yeah.
something everybody can enjoy though. I can honestly say that.
I'm just happy the fight is happening. We were talking about earlier. You got to give hats off to Ryan Garcia and Tank for making that fight happen because it seems like that kind of sparked what we got going now in the game where everybody wants to fight that other elite guy. Because
Yeah,
not only this, you got Charlo and Canelo
yeah. Canelo, yeah,
locking horns
yeah. You
too.
know, it was like a chain reaction. In that fight that you just named, you know, I'm actually like I'm real close to both Charlos. So, you know, I was thinking it was gonna be Mile, and it shocked me that it was the Male, but it's gonna be a better fight. We can't just act like Male can't fight. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Hey,
Yeah.
I,
yeah.
I think we just worried about the. I think we worried about the layoff. That's my biggest concern. The layoff that he
No,
had.
see, actually, he's fighting the 154, the undisputed. The only layoff he had was the hand injury. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Canelo's coming off of a surgery, a soldier surgery too. So, you know, and then
Right. I forgot about that.
yeah, people don't know that
Yeah, I forgot
like
about.
really, Canelo started out at like 147, so he's really naturally like if probably like the same size.
Mm-hmm.
Canelo's been in bigger fights with bigger opponents, so he's able to he's used to withstanding different shots. But it's gonna be a better fight than a lot of people think. They're not giving Jamel Charlo enough credit.
Well, let me ask you this about Canelo because although he's not necessarily an ancient fighter, man, this dude has been a professional since he was what 15 years old. You know,
Right.
at what point does that start to add up when you fighting a young dog like Charlo that you got to essentially almost kill to beat? Do you think that'll be a factor? The fact that Canelo has been in some wars.
Um, it would have been a factor if Canelo won Canelo. You know what I mean? He made it to a part of the game where when he got to a certain level, he was able to like direct his own traffic. You know what I mean? So he fought guys. He fought them like at the right points in their career. You know what I mean? To the point where it really wasn't no war. He just really shined. You know what I mean? He just fought guys. He caught guys, certain guys at the right time. And if you think about it, Canelo he never really been in wars except for the times that he's went up in weight. You know what I'm saying? Anything else, it was always to his advantage. You know what I'm saying? Except for like maybe guys like Floyd,
Triple
uh,
G. I give him Triple G.
uh,
Triple G first fight was that was a
Triple G,
fight.
and Laura,
Yeah.
Okay.
I really say Laura. So, besides that, the fights where the public really like demanded him to really fight somebody. Besides that, he really kind of directed his own traffic. So he got a lot. He got longevity left. You know what I mean? He had those type of fights that knock. Some people have one fight that'll knock. It'd be a war, and then knock like 3 or 4 years, 3 or 4 fights off your career. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Right.
So he's never been into none of those type of fights except for the ones with Triple G. But he should be fine. You know what I mean?
I
Yeah.
think I'm gonna be honest with you. I think the fight that really changed him was at the Floyd. His defense changed.
Mm-hmm.
His
Yeah.
footwork changed. How he was angling punches. I think that was like the biggest thing that really changed him and made him go to that next level.
Yeah. I mean,
When
yeah.
him was,
When you get on a big stage like that with the best fighter, I mean, the best ever. And you as a champion, if it's in you, you've been doing it for a long time as a champion. Like you're gonna take that one or two ways. It's the same thing. Same thing Canelo went through. It's the same thing younger fighters go through in the gym. It's like when you first take your good ass whooping in the gym sparring. You know what I mean? It's that breaking point. Is this kid gonna come back? Do he like it enough to come back and learn from it, or is he gonna tuck his tail and go do something else? You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Hmm.
He learned from it. He tightened his defense up and became one of the best fighters on the planet.
So speaking of that, this welterweight undisputed showdown is like I said, our version of Tommy Hearns and Sugar Ray. In my opinion, I feel like easily biggest fight in the past, 10 years. We spoke about this earlier because I feel like Mayweather Pacquiao happened about 5 years, too late.
Too late, right?
It was very anticlimactic. Now, again, I'm not talking down on my boy Floyd because, like I told everybody, I said, it was Pacquiao's job to make that a different
Mhm.
fight. You know what Money was gonna do when he came in there, and
Yeah,
that's what he
sure.
did.
Right.
But getting back to this fight, I really think whoever wins this, in my opinion, would definitely unequivocally be pound for pound best in
Sure.
in 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 the sport. Um, when two dogs like this face each other, there's gonna be a point in the fight, I think mentally, where somebody has to go to that different level. Somebody has to make an adjustment. Neither one of these fighters are mentally weak, in my opinion. Uh, if you had to put your finger on it, what do you think is going to be the separation? You know, even with you picking, you know, Bud like me.
I think the separation is going to be. I think the separation is going to be Bud's pride. That's what I think is going to be Bud's pride. Now, even though I'm going with Bud,
Pride get in the way.
yeah. Even though I'm going with Bud, I'm gonna say this: if Bud chooses to fight Errol the wrong way, it's gonna be ugly. I'm gonna lose a lot of money. You know what I mean? It's gonna be ugly. I can honestly say that. I mean, it's that close of a fight. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, Errol, he the megalodon, he the big shark. You know what I'm saying? Just because I'm going with Bud don't mean that that's right. You know what I'm saying? But that's, you know, Bud fits more of like my style. But what I was saying was, if he try to fight Errol the wrong fight and try to stand right there toe to toe with him and bang it out with him instead of being smart and making this like an easy fight, boxing, using angles, making them miss, making them pay, it's gonna, yeah, like I said, it's gonna be ugly. Now what I can see is Bud really trying to step to him, and Bud getting hurt, and saying fuck that, you know, I ain't going like that. Let me let me get on my Huffy and let me make this easy, you know. That's the best thing, to get on the bike and make it easy. But you know, that's gonna be a big deciding factor. You know, how he decide to, you know, carry the fight on.
I can see that because I think
I don't trust it.
I think it was Sean Porter.
Corner.
Yeah, you can't. This is the type of fight Spence type of dude. If you're a boxer, don't switch it up. You can't get tough with no guy like that. You feel me?
Yeah.
I'm talking about that soft voice, hard hitting motherfucker punish you. You hear me?
Yeah, but for real, we done seen it firsthand.
Yeah. Yeah,
Sean
sure.
Porter said that though, because they asked him what he thought would be the difference since he was in the ring with both of them, and
Right.
he said Spence will fight his fight and make you fight his fight. And he said Bud was not gonna change what he came in there to do, like game plan wise or whatever, and you can see that because he was patient. Sean Porter had his moments early on in that fight, but it's almost like Bud knew what he was doing. He was taking that boy in the deep water, and all of a sudden he unleashed it, and that was it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So, you know, going back, man, I was looking at some of your fights, man, going back to the Olympics and stuff, and I don't know. I mean, well, most boxing fans, I think, know, but Cincinnati has a great history of amateur boxing and even pros, man. I know you live in Houston now.
Yeah, I live in Houston. Yeah.
Yeah. So do you keep track of what's going on in the city and amateurs coming up, anything like that?
Man, I really you know, I really fell out of not fell out of touch, but I really stopped keeping up. I always watch the pro fight. I really kind of stopped keeping up. I stopped keeping up with the amateur thing that they had going on. You know what I mean? Just out of, you know, it just wasn't the same. Especially like when they removed the headgears. It's really like that. I feel like they.
Just going to ask, how did you feel about the head?
Yeah, I feel like they really kind of messed it up for the kids. You know, when they moved the headgears, because, you know, it's like y'all turning the kids pro before it's need be. You know, but like I said, I always, you know, say that we're the pro game, especially like with this little dude right here. You know, he watch all the fights. He got his favorite fighters. We you know, we agree, we disagree on fights. So, you know, that make it that much more fun. You know.
So let me ask. I mean, we're gonna put him on the spot. So who is he going with, Haney or Stevenson?
Talk to him.
I don't know. I feel like Devin Haney, like he can box, like, and he be in shape, but it just be like Shakur got that defense and that jab. It just be different. You know, like it be different. Especially when you turning him. I mean, when you turning him.
Turning him, yeah.
It be different. I ain't gonna lie.
Levels. Yeah.
It be levels. It's like he just a notch above Devin. It's a notch.
So you got Shakur over Devin just by a notch.
Just by a notch.
See, I got Shakur too, but I think like what people forget, what people don't know about Devin is Devin. He got a lot of skills. He got a lot of skills to the point where he gonna outshine a lot of.
He a great adjuster.
He adjusts very well.
He
Outshine these guys to the point where the fights be born. It's always gonna be like a Roy Jones back in the day. But you just can't. You got to credit the skills that this guy had. Been with his father. You know what I mean? So he was raised like that. You know what I mean? It reminded me of myself, the relationship. It reminded me of us. You know what I mean? So I know. Devin Haney's gonna be the type of fighter that the better of a fighter that he fights, the more you're gonna see out of him.
You know what, and that's a good point that not a lot of people focus in on. I have saw historically these fighters that get trained or reeled in by their fathers, man. It's something about that, man. You just don't want to go down in front of pops. I feel like they got a different
Hell no.
gear or hunger to them. I don't care
It's
whether
really
it's
what it
Roy
is.
Jones,
You don't want to go down in front of your dad.
it's Roy Jones, Shane Mosley, Tito Trinidad, even my boy.
It's different, man. Like boxing is a sport. Well, another fighter. I always tell you, like, I'm the only one in here taking these punches. You know what I'm saying? I'm the only one in here taking these punches. But like, when you got a relationship with your father, like I had, and like with those guys, they got like when your father tell you like, I feel everything you feel, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You really know that. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I really believe that. You know what I'm saying? Every time I had any type of disappointment, the hurt on his face was way worse than the hurt on my face. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? My father, that's my Superman. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
yeah.
For sure.
Can't say enough about him.
And a lot of them, man, I look at it. Sometimes it affects their relationship outside of the sport. Even my boy Zav Judah was another one, was trained by his father Yoel Judah, man. But I kind of look at it like to make a parallel in the music game. Everybody talk about old Joe Jackson, man, but at the end of the day, he got them where they were supposed to be, man.
Well, like I tell people this all the time. My dad was Joe Jackson without the ass whoopings. You hear me? I mean,
Yeah.
of course, I got my ass whooped. You know what I mean? I was, as a child, but
Same.
You covering the mic, Cardo.
oh,
I'm
my
covering
bad.
the mic.
Y'all good?
Yeah,
Yeah.
now we get
Yeah. I said, my pops was like Joe Jackson without the ass whoopings. You know what I'm saying? He had that. Like I said, of course, I got my ass whooped as a child, but it was tough love, man. You know what I mean? And like you said, it just make a different animal out of a child. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, it make you respect what you do that much more. You know what I mean? Make you appreciate it.
Yeah, well, we didn't ask Young King about the fight we've been talking about, man. Who you got? You
said he
got.
got Bud
He
too.
got
You
Bud
said he
too.
got Bud.
I ain't gonna lie.
Hey, see what I'm saying? Hold on, wait a minute. I don't mean to cut him off. I just told
He
y'all
did
that
say-
at first he was going with Bud. I said, now every day he been coming and changing a little bit. He came with Daddy. I think he might get stepped on. Man, listen, I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, young fella. Tell him what it is. Tell him what it is. Tell him Errol got some workout for him. He got some workout.
Pause.
Well,
Yeah.
Spence is the naturally bigger man, and I think if this isn't his last fight at 147, it's definitely probably one of his last
Yeah,
fights, because he's been hitting and moving up to 154.
A lot of people don't know Spence moved down as a professional. He fought 152 in the amateur, so he is a naturally big man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Moved down 5 pounds when he turned pro. I mean, so
That's say a lot to the prior too.
Yeah. I mean,
Well, you ain't the only one that's got money on Bud, man. So
hey, I ain't the only one. I ain't the only one gonna be happy on the 29th then.
yeah. But it is a razor thin fight, and I tell everybody that,
for
like,
sure.
I can see it going either way. So
Yeah, most definitely. Me too. And hats off to both of those guys. I got, much love for both of them, but I'm going the Bud way.
yeah. So I promised everybody who hung in, and y'all get to see this. Like I said, it's streaming simultaneously on Facebook, the YouTube page, and the Twitter page for Factual Pens. We had the champ check in, Ricardo Williams.
And I appreciate you guys for sure. And I will tell you this.
Appreciate it.
I will tell you this. I ain't never betting against Jerron Boots Ennis.
Right now, I ain't either.
Hey, he the one.
I ain't fooling with him.
Yeah,
well, speaking of the one, because you missed it earlier, I said I ain't never betting against Tank no more. because I bet on Ryan Garcia and I got in trouble.
I
So
don't know why he set himself up for that.
Man, listen,
Set
man.
himself up for
Hey,
that.
Pharaoh, man, you gonna have to get together, man. Cause, hey, listen, pause. Hey, we got to get together because it's like we got this. We going the same way every time, man. I can't even. I got to confess.
Don't let that fool you, because he
I got to
crazy.
confess, man. I
Yeah,
said
he 0-2 with me right now.
I
Ricardo.
thought
He
Ryan was
0-2.
gonna do a little bit better than that, boy.
yeah. Well, see, Nate talking that mess because we on two. I picked Ryan Garcia and I thought Anthony Joshua was gonna get them belts back against Usyk.
Oh
So
no, I went the right way. I went the right way that time.
Garcia took that shot
Hey,
and got shell shocked.
Hey,
It was over after that.
Hey, don't trip, Farrell. We gonna get his ass in the blender one day, man. We gonna
yeah, man.
He gonna go the wrong way. He gonna turn left, and it's gonna be the right way. You hear me?
Bro,
Hopefully the 29th.
My cousin has groomed me quite well. Calvin Pryor Jr. He groomed me. He was in he was with you in the amateurs. He groomed me. He groomed me a little good.
You know what to watch out for, huh?
Yeah, I know what a good shot looked like.
I heard you. No doubt.
So, folks, man, thanks for tuning in. We want to thank again the champ Ricardo Williams for checking in with us.
Thanks for having me.
This is gonna be everywhere. This is gonna be on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, everywhere. So check us out, man. Next time you see us, hopefully we'll be talking about that fish that got fried on the 29th.
Hey, matter of fact, next time I come into town, man, I'm saying this right now on live. We gonna bet dinner, man. I'm got Bud.
That's fine. I'll meet you there.
No doubt.
We going out anyway, man.
Hey, I can't wait to ask him and say give it to him. Hey, much love, fellas, man. If y'all need me, man, I'm support whatever y'all got going, man.
Hey, man, we appreciate
it, man. Anytime,
appreciate
brother.
you.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it, champ.
No doubt. Peace.
All right, y'all.
I got a